What comes to mind when you hear the word productivity? Perhaps you consider focusing on a single task, visualizing a full list of tasks that have already been completed, or getting into a flow at work where time seems to fly by and you rush through all of your assignments. Is it possible to achieve whatever productivity means to you? See, productivity isn't just a course of action, it's a state of mind, and I'm going to hit you hard with it. According to recent research, productivity is related to the trait known as conscientiousness. It's a personality trait that you can't really change, but there is research that says you can push your boundaries if you work on them. You can change your brain, and I've seen lazy people change their efficiency, but that's because you're literally changing your brain. Now we can mimic some conscientiousness habits, and through those habits, we can start to rewire our brain to become more productive, and I'll show you those habits if you want to rewire your brain to be more productive. Before you know it, you'll be making to-do lists and crossing everything off of them. Tip number 1 is to start in the morning because light tells our brains when to wake up and when to sleep, so I recommend setting your alarm clock as the sun rises and, if possible, a little earlier to give yourself time to get things done. Have you ever had a morning when you woke up feeling refreshed and ready to face the day? Only the next day do you feel drowsy and irritable? When we sleep, our bodies go through different cycles, and if we wake up at the wrong time, we may feel tired and lethargic for the rest of the morning. A simple way to deal with this is to download an app like Sleep Cycle. At night, you tell the app when you want to get up and place the phone near your bed. The app will wake you up at a time when you should feel refreshed and ready to face the day based on your sleep cycle, and trust me, I've tried this before and it usually works. Tip number 2 is to create a segmented schedule so that you are up, awake, and ready for the day. What you need to do now is rewire your brain to think by the clock. From 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock, you will focus on Project A. From 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock, you will focus on Project B, and from 11 o'clock to noon, you will focus on Project C. I recommend making a schedule ahead of time to fit in all of the tasks you want to complete for the day. Many people nag and say, I can't work by a schedule, or I feel constrained, but you're setting up your schedule incorrectly. You should fill it with things you want to do. You should treat yourself like a worker you've hired, and if you don't reward or pay that worker and just give them a bunch of stuff to do, you'll hate that schedule. As a result, a schedule should be a useful tool rather than a confining prison. Remember to include breaks in your schedules as well. Leave your distractions or miscellaneous tasks to these designated break times. Something as simple as an email, a Facebook message, or a daydream can completely derail your entire focus, and if your brain knows that a break is coming up in a few minutes, it will be more likely to set that distracting thought aside until that break. The Pomodoro technique is something I highly recommend researching. The Pomodoro technique involves scheduling 2 hours of work with short and long breaks in between. It's one of the most effective and proven methods for focusing on a task for the appropriate amount of time. The third point to consider is productive awareness. It can be difficult to prevent yourself from becoming distracted by distracting thoughts. However, this lack of awareness is the number 1 killer of all productivity. Fortunately, it is simple to gain control of your awareness and use it to your advantage. Similar to meditation, awareness requires recognizing where you are and what you are doing in the present moment. Take some time right now to be aware of your surroundings, what's going on in the room, where you're sitting, what parts of your body are making contact with the chair, table, computer, or clothing you're wearing. What do you see? What do you hear? And even stranger, what do you smell? Have you been reading and digesting the words in front of you, or have you been distracted by other thoughts? If you know you are easily distracted and have difficulty staying aware of the present moment, I highly recommend meditating or attending a mindfulness workshop. These activities can help you stay aware of your surroundings and thoughts throughout the day, but you also need to control your environment as much as possible in order to find a place where distractions won't creep up on you. People will not approach you, and you will not be daydreaming out the window as you learn to be more aware of all of your thoughts. You will notice distractions from a mile away, and hopefully you will be able to shut them down. The fourth tip is to hold yourself accountable. Schedules work because they give you an idea of what's coming up and also give you a goal to work toward. For example, if it's 2:30 and you know you have another half hour to complete an assignment, you know you can ramp up your focus or give yourself some slack. Everyone works at a different pace, and if you want to be truly productive, you must find the pace that works for you. When creating your schedule, leave time for taking notes throughout the day. When did you become tired? What helped you focus? And what possibly distracted you? After a few days, you'll probably notice patterns, such as feeling tired at 2:30 in the afternoon or feeling better on days when you exercise in the morning. Once you've identified the times when you're most productive and the tools that can assist you, you can begin to create a schedule that works for you and makes you more productive. Positive validation is the fifth tip. Did you complete your first task of the day on time? Well done. That's fantastic that you did that. Take a moment to cross that task off your list and pat yourself on the back. Positive validation can train you and your brain to pursue anything, including productive habits and laser beam focus. Simply use basic conditioning to reward yourself. Our brains naturally seek rewards and try to avoid pain. If you can rewire your brain to see productivity as a truly rewarding way to live, your brain will begin to crave productivity and will seek out days filled with accomplishments, affirmations, and positive validations. Demonstrate to your brain that you truly want to complete tasks, stay healthy, make money, or do whatever it is that you really want to do. For example, if I've had a particularly productive day and accomplished a lot, I'll take some friends to a movie or go out to eat at a nice restaurant. I'm trying to rewire my brain so that a productive day equals a fun evening. And it's working because when I think about what I want to do in the evening for fun, my brain automatically searches for things to work on. I know it's strange, and it's a difficult feeling to describe, but you should definitely try it. The sixth step is to manifest your productivity. Do you consider yourself to be a productive person? Perhaps you don't. Today is the day to rewire your brain and shift your mindset. You must discard any doubts or memories of your lazy days because you are now a productive individual. That's just the way you are. Get it? You must continue to think positively and visualize yourself as the productive person you desire. Another thing is that thinking of a trait as part of your identity is the best way to be motivated towards it. You might think I'm a productive person who does a lot of important work, and you should tell yourself that. This is an affirmation that you must repeat to yourself until you begin to believe it, because the sooner you begin to believe that you are productive, the easier it will be to sit down and schedule your tasks for the day and complete them all. I recommend writing an affirmation for yourself that says something like, "I'm productive." Keep these affirmations in your back pocket and repeat them every morning when you're feeling unproductive and your brain begins to pick up on these words. It will rewire itself, and you will believe you can complete everything on your to-do list. See, human minds have similar habits, and certain habits can trick anyone's mind into becoming more productive. This is the premise of productivity psychology.